champion of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, chat.
What is good? What's good? What's good? January 20th. We're at midnight, a little bit past over. 2025. Big day today for some, sad day for most, right? Had a hell of a weekend sports-wise. Politics-wise, we got a big day today, like I said, for some, and a sad day for most, as Donald Trump will be inaugurated as president today. And we're not really going to talk about that, but we're going to talk sports. And, hell of a weekend in sports, all the way from Friday all the way up to today. And it's going to continue tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the national championship, the college football national championship game. As you all know, if you've been watching me live, watching my videos, and just know me in general, you guys will know that I am a huge Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. I am a long-time suffering Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. I mean, Notre Dame has not won the national championship since 1988 with head coach Lou Holtz when they beat West Virginia. I forgot the name of the bowl they were in, but they would beat West Virginia, and they were voted as the AP #1 school in the country. I believe that year they beat Miami. Miami was undefeated. They beat Miami. Miami in that game, that was the game of the year. I think they called that was one of the games of the year at the time. I believe they beat Miami. Miami went for 2 at the end, and they did not get the 2-point conversion in Notre Dame. So that's what people were saying. It was the luck of the Irish, because usually when Notre Dame back in those days, Miami's had the squad, right? And I mean, Miami football was the thing, And when they used to play Notre Dame in Miami, they used to smoke Notre Dame. And then when we played in Notre Dame would win, and it would always be like some fumble or some fluke turnover or whatever. And everybody used to say it was the luck of the Irish. And that was also they made a documentary about the Catholics versus convicts. But yeah, I believe that year. Now this is off the top of my head. I was a little kid. 1988 was 11, 12 years old off the top of my head. But I do remember and I do recall. They beat Miami early on in the season that year. Miami had a squad, and the reason they won them was a good game. Miami had went for 2 at the end of the game. If anybody wants to come and fact check me, you guys could fact check me, but this is off the top of my head. And I mean, I don't only do boxing. I do football. I do baseball. I used to be nice and know a lot of college and pro basketball, but because the game has changed, I kind of tailed off watching basketball until June when the playoffs come. But yeah, when it comes to college football, man, I know a lot. But let me see who's in the building. I see some people in the building right now. I wasn't expecting anybody to be on as it's midnight. But what's good, my man D Freeze in the house, another Notre Dame fan. My man Just Do Boxing, what's good, Just Do? Peace to you, bro. Hope to see you in a couple weeks in Jersey. Hopefully you can make it out there to the fight. Keep Colognes on that card. Hopefully I see you there, bro. D Free again. Cotton Bowl, yes. It was a Cotton Bowl, yes. Thank you, D Free. I know they beat West Virginia in the bowl game, and then they were voted in. Peace and blessings to Shawalaya. Thank you for coming through and showing love. Appreciate everybody in the building. I don't plan on taking long. I'm going to leave the link in the chat. I want to talk about a few things. I'm going to try something different, and I'm going to try some. Oh, BBO, what's good, BBO? BBO is funny. I'm going to try something different in a couple weeks. Also, I'm going to start doing either I'm going to do it as a video or I'm going to do it as live. I'm going to start posting my my appearances on the radio. So, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've told some people do, some people don't. I do radio every Sunday on Ring Talk Worldwide with Pedro Fernandez. I post a link in the chat in the community, not in the chat, in the community page every other week or every week. Sometimes I forget. But yeah, if you want to catch me, it's usually 2 p.m. Eastern time, as it's aired out in San Francisco, as Pedro's in San Francisco, so that's 11 a.m. West Coast time. But I'm going to start playing those clips so you get to hear more radio. Pedro's the host of the show. He's been around boxing a long time, 40 plus years. And hold on one second. I see D Free in the building. What's good, D Free?
What's good? I had to come up here. We're talking Notre Dame.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little college. Just give me a second, we'll get to it. But yeah, Pedro's been around for a long time. I actually interviewed Pedro on my show a couple times. He's been on our lives and we talk boxing. He has a lot of stories. And nobody loves telling stories better than Pedro, and nobody tells a better story better than Pedro. And when I say stories, I'm not meaning fake stories. These are real stories. Like these are no lies. These are no make believe stories. So shout out to Pedro. But I want to do that. I'll probably do that. Start posting those videos, and if I do it live, maybe I'll talk while it's running. I'll figure out, and then I gotta kind of like, and I think I'll probably do it live, whereas I gotta pause the commercials because they do commercial breaks, and then the copyrights and stuff, and they do play music, and then some of the music they do is copyright. So I'm gonna try to pause and mute the music as it goes along. So I gotta figure it out because it's all audio, and I don't know how to like on StreamYard like move the audio forward like when you do audio recordings. So we're gonna see. Tyler, who's that? Tyler, do I know you? Someone in the background. I'll put you in a save where you can't see. How you doing, Tyler? What's good?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a Buckeye fan.
Oh shit, this is great. Oh, I'll take. All right, that's what's up. Buckeye fan. All right, salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming up, man. Let's get into it. I was gonna start off with boxing and talk about Omar Trinidad's fight, but since I got Notre Dame fan here and I got a Buckeye, why not? Let's do it. I don't see why not. How you feeling about your Buckeyes? I mean, they're only 10-point favorites. I mean, they're supposed to win, right? Oh, he just froze up. He froze up. But D-Free, you confident. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't know. You're freezing up a little bit, bro.
Oh, I'm feeling very confident.
As you should. You guys are healthy. We're banged up. You guys are playing well. I didn't know they're playing well too. You got to give them credit. Also, yep. I think they coach. The coach has done a great job with this team with the injuries they had, and I think the game is going to be closer than what people think. To be honest.
See, I can understand where you guys are coming from that, but I want to tell you some from an objective perspective here.
Okay.
So I was looking at some stats, right? And I save a lot of receipts. So, who is the best offense you guys played this year?
That's a good point. The best offense we played this year, it might have been Indiana, right? And then you guys smoked Indiana. You guys did better. We smoked them in the beginning. We let them back in the game, probably like the end, playing prevent. But I would probably say Indiana, just off the top of my head.
Well, I'll give you an answer. The best passing offense you guys seen this year so far was USC.
And USC wasn't as good this year as they usually are.
But reason why I say that, USC's backup quarterback, right? They went 45% completion percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
For 370 yards.
I didn't realize they threw over 370 yards. D-Free, do you recall that?
Not against us, maybe against somebody else.
370 yards. I gotta look that up. I mean, I don't see why he would lie, but I mean that's a rivalry game too.
But here's the other funny thing about that game too, we guys don't realize. Not only the fact that you guys they had thrown for 370 yards on you with a backup. They ran for 200 yards on you guys, too, on top of that.
You're right. He did. Yeah, he did. The backup threw 3 touchdowns and interception. Yeah, they did throw over 3. That was a high-scoring game, but we were up a couple scores, and we let them kind of back into it. I mean, rivalry games, sometimes that happens. I mean, but, yeah, I guess you had a bad game, and then we had a bad game against Northern Illinois. Obviously, we lost to a team you shouldn't lose to. So, but ever since that game, now, I mean, I understand your point, but ever since that game, the 3 playoff games, right? We've been solid.
I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I want you guys to think about this for a second. So, Indiana, my team already played them. I already knew they were fraudulent. They beat up bad teams. No disrespect. You handled your business with them. They're on your schedule. Congratulations to you guys. Next is Georgia. Now, I understand the name being Georgia, right? Kirby Smart. This was not Kirby Smart's best team that you got played, not by a long shot.
But let me stop you right there because I see what you're doing and I understand what you're saying and I agree in certain aspects of what you're saying. But that Georgia team is the same team that beat a good Texas team.
Yes, I agree.
And they beat them because of defense. I know people are going to talk about maybe the quarterback, and the backup. That backup quarterback is supposed to be good as well. But I know his first start game, I understand where you're going with that. But they won the game in the trenches. They pretty much won, dominating on the defensive line because Georgia's a good defense as well too.
I respect that. I respect where you're coming from. But also, I need you also to think about this too. Georgia's offensive line hasn't really blocked anybody that great this year too. I'm just giving it. I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it fair. So, is that really a good litmus test?
Of course it is. It's because it's playoff football, and you got to give them credit for still beating Texas. Now, mind you guys beat Texas by 14. Now it looks good on paper, but it came down to that last drive, which was a great defensive play by a great defensive player. Because I think that guy's a monster, Sawyer. I think he's the truth, And it was and by the way, him and the quarterback are like best friends, right? Weren't they like roommates or something like that? Sawyer and the quarterback of Texas.
Yeah, him and Quentin Ewers. They were roommates their freshman year at OSU.
Yeah, so they were really good. They were real good friends, and it came down to that. So I mean, Ohio State, the same way you're saying Notre Dame handled the business, Ohio State handled their business too. Now, mind you, Ohio State, the sexier pick, they've got the better 5-star athletes. They got the better, team. They're all healthy. They probably got one of the best receivers in college football. They always produce great wide receivers. I don't think the quarterback is as good as previous Ohio State quarterbacks, to be honest with you. But they got the good backs there. They picked up what was real big was they picked up that back from Ole Miss, right?
Get Quinton Judkins.
Oh my God, that was a great pickup too.
When you just talk about from a pure talent standpoint, he might be the best player on the team, like hands down. His first year as a freshman in the SEC, he rushed for 1,600 yards.
Yeah,
had like 15 touchdowns. So yeah, they got pieces all over the place. It's really not fair. There's really no holes in that Ohio State team at all.
The only holes, here's the only holes, and I've said this in the past. I've said this in past weeks. The only holes, in my opinion, and I really want to get Tyler's perspective on this as an Ohio State fan. I think the only holes in Ohio State is the coaching. I don't think Ryan Day is a good coach. I don't think Chip Kelly's a good coach. I think he overdoes things, and I think that's the reason why they lost to Michigan. I think the Michigan game, they got out-coached that game. But I want to hear what Tyler has to say.
I don't think so, Tommy, because again, and I don't remember if you were there when I was having this discussion with Free and them, but Ohio State had opportunities to go down there and score. They were in the red zone 3 times, and they were at their own goal line twice. And then Will Howard fucked it off. I don't know if he threw 3 picks or if he threw 2 picks, but they turned it over 3 times back to back to back.
But you was happy with the play calls there?
I'll give you.
Yes, you do have
I'll
a
answer
point.
that question for you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right. First off, Will Howard, he should not have been in the game all day, game long. He had a fucking concussion.
Okay.
So he was not right in the head. Period. He should not have been in the game. Like he got hit bad. He went to 10, and I don't know if it was Ryan Day. I don't know if it was Chip Kelly. I don't know. Like I'm being dead ass when I say that. So I don't know if it was either of the two. But Will Howard was like, I want to go out there, and I respect that. Like you're the leader of this team. You're supposed to be setting the example for everyone that win it's the biggest rivalry in all of college football for a reason. You want to win that. We haven't beat them for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So
there was a lot of seniors on that team that they're gonna go with no wins against Michigan. That's
Well,
why they were. That's really why they were fighting after that game. They were mad. They were gonna go down as that class that never beat Michigan.
But here's what is really frustrating with that game that really gets on my nerves about it. I knew all year long where their weakness was. Everyone knew it. Hell, I went on a couple of my podcasts at sticking up for these guys for the game. And I said, Ryan Day, do X, Y, and Z. You would beat them all day long. And for whatever reason, I just think Ryan Day just was like, I just think that he has when he sees winged helmets, when he sees maize and blue uniforms, he just says,
Yeah.
he just forgets the coach. But for this game, though, the biggest weakness for us is on the offensive line. Because we're missing two of our starting offensive linemen. We actually haven't had our whole starting offensive line all year long. From game 1 to game 16, we haven't played with the starting offensive line all year long. The first weeks, some of the guys had there was a sickness that was going through, like hand, foot, and mouth.
Yeah, ain't one of your starting tackles out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's
Actually,
their left tackles out too.
Actually,
So,
two of them.
Yeah, that's probably 2 first-round picks.
No. One, Josh Simmons. He's the first-round pick. He's going to be a first-round pick. The second tackle that we're missing.
McLaughlin's the other guy, right?
Yeah, he's our center. But the other tackle that we're going to be missing, but he's not going to be playing. He's transferring. Is Zeb Mahalski. We pull him out there for when Josh Simmons got hurt against Oregon. He played pretty good. But then when we played Nebraska, he just was like, he didn't know how to block anyone. So,
but Josh Simmons is definitely a big miss. He's good.
Yeah.
But then we've been out since the Indiana game. We've been out with our best defensive lineman and Riley Mills. Riley Mills,
I know about that.
Piece. So, yeah. So I mean, it's we got injuries of both sides. I mean, listen, to be objective, right, and to be a college football fan, which I am also, and I'm also a Notre Dame fan, and I've been a Notre Dame fan for years. I mean, Ohio State is supposed to win. And my job on this podcast, right, is to kind of like defend my team and to see how they would win. But if I wasn't a Notre Dame fan, it's the sexier pick, and they're supposed to win. But you have to give credit to what Notre Dame's done with the injuries as well. And you know, under man, it's a new offensive line too. Like, you know, they're always going to have good offensive line. They're always going to have good tight ends. You know, the receivers are. You know, I think our best asset is our running backs. Mm-hmm. And I think even though I've criticized Leonard all year long, but Leonard is a good football player. He may not be a good quarterback, but I think he's a good football player, and that's how we've been winning games. I think he's been making the right moves, the right plays, and he's been utilized well in certain scenarios. So, and I think that's going to be key. I think for Notre Dame to have a chance at this game, they obviously got to stick to what they be doing. Don't try anything different. You know, keep playing a man-to-man defense, put pressure, you know, load up the box, you know, and take a shot playing defense that way and keep the games low scoring, you know, play the old school giant football games and just, you know, run the clock out, you know, not do anything fancy, especially in the first half. Slow them down and make it, you know, that by halftime, like, oh, snap, we got a shot to win this game. And then let's see how both teams play with adjustments and under pressure in the second half. I think that's the way, but they can't let Ohio State come out the gate and just, you know, boom, boom, touchdown, like in the last championship game against Alabama, where Alabama just, you know, they just killed us. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, with this Buckeye team, right? we are kind of like Floyd Mayweather. We are like Mike Tyson. What I mean by that is when we land our punch, it's gonna hurt. You might not get knocked out at first, but if we land our punch, you're gonna feel it. For example, against Texas, we marched down the field, drive one,
Like
touchdown.
nothing. Yep.
But then we get some stupid penalties and we shoot ourselves in the foot. Texas comes back, they score a touchdown. And we're like, okay, just let's take it into halftime. Then, boom, Trey Henderson goes 75 yards, touchdown on screen. If we land our punch and it hits you guys in the jaw, you might not get knocked, and you might be stumbling. But
I hear you, and it sounds good, and I think you're right because Notre Dame hasn't really been behind like that, and all year long. So if that was to happen, we've got to see how would they respond to it. So, but I agree. I think if they do that like they did against Texas, but Texas, credit to them, and Texas is a good defensive team also.
Yeah, they are.
So credit to them. They bounced back and they made it a game in that third quarter, right? And they had at the end of the day, they had an opportunity, to win that game. So I mean, that's what Notre Dame has to do. They can't get punched in the mouth and just eat it and just say, oh, we're happy to be here. No, they got to if they get punched in the mouth, they got to come back and try to punch Ohio State in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they didn't do against Alabama when they in the last championship game.
Mm-hmm. Now I do have a question though.
While I give Riley Leonard a lot of credit, and I think he's played really well this year, getting Notre Dame to this point, that might be the thing that beats Notre Dame is the fact that I don't think he has the mindset of let me get the best play. I think he just has a mindset of moving the sticks, which can be good especially when you have a style like Notre Dame's, which is physical. They're a run first team, and their defense is really what wins them games most of the times. So
but that's their style of play. That's the way.
Ohio State.
But Marky, you got to understand that that's their style of play, and that's the way they want to play. They want to be in the close games. They embrace that. They want to play. That's their mentality, and that's what Marcus Freeman has kind of installed with this team is to move the sticks. It's not make a big play. Now, mind you, it was great to get that kick return against Georgia, right? Special teams, and special teams is big. Notre Dame has played great special teams as well this playoffs. So, I mean, I think that's the mentality that Marcus Freeman has on this particular team. Now, what's good about this team? Let's look into a little bit. Let's look ahead, right? Like, I'm already kind of like embracing a loss, kind of in a way, because I know that Ohio State's the way better team, and honestly I'm happy to be here, but I'm also happy because of the new rules and the NIL and all of this that Notre Dame is pocketing most of this money and it's drawing more recruits and getting more attention so that they could be even better next year, right? You got like $14 million they didn't have to share with any conference because they're independent. So I'm happy about that. I think the culture has changed in Notre Dame. The winning attitude, the mentality has changed in Notre Dame. So I'm very happy about it. Whereas when we had Brian Kelly, who was a good recruiter, he was not a good coach. And he was a coach that didn't make adjustments. And you see that in LSU. He's bringing the talent to LSU, but he can't coach.
Chip Kelly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm happy.
No, Brian Kelly. You're right.
With what they've installed here. And I'm glad they extended him because, already teams is looking at him. So, I mean, Riley Leonard, you're saying I think he knows his role, and I think he knows, his limits as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're looking for him to chuck it, 25 yards every other play. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they do.
So I'll give a perspective from the team that you guys are about to play. So with the Buckeyes, right, we're gonna force you guys to beat us through the air because we're the number one run defense. We're the number one defense in college football. Like, I'm not number one in points allowed, number one in yards allowed, number one against the run. Like, it's gonna be a long day for you guys.
And one more thing with the big I think his last name is Wells, Notre Dame's big interior lineman. He was supposed to be a first round pick. Is he playing in this game?
Riley Mills.
Okay, so Mills is back. Okay. I was about to say.
Oh, you said Mills? No, Riley Mills.
I might have to give.
No, not the defensive end. No, I just said that. No. Riley Mills.
No, the offensive lineman is playing.
Yeah. Riley. He's talking about Riley Mills though. He's been gone since the Indiana game.
Okay, so he's not playing.
He's done.
Okay,
yeah.
In that case, then I would give.
We've been playing without him. We've been winning without him.
Yeah.
No doubt. But I was just gonna say, if he's not playing, I would just have to give Ohio State the edge when you talk about defensive lines, because on both ends they got the white boy Sawyer. He's gonna be a monster on the next level. Then they got the Indonesian. I can't say his fucking name.
JT Tumalau.
Yeah, then they got 91, the big, like he's 360 pounds. He's a nose guard. He's eating
you're talking about Tyleik Williams.
Yeah, but you know all of them. That's your team, bro. But yeah, I just have to get them the edge when it comes to defensive line.
But the thing is, when you playing against a good run defense, the thing you do is you make them get tired. You make them have to play the run defense. We got 3 running backs. It's not just one running back. We got 3 running backs that you have to worry about. We have a bruising running back. We have a running back who can move on the vertical, and then we have another running back who can move horizontally. So when you don't know which running back is getting the ball, when they go with their 2, sometimes 3 running back set, and you don't know which one getting the ball, it confuses the defense. So when we sustain drives, what happens to that run defense is they get tired. When they used to getting people off the field. But when you can't get them off the field, that defense gets tired. So you might been number 1 at the beginning of the game, but by the third quarter, you're more like the number 6 or number 7 defense, because that run defense is tired.
Yeah.
So
I think
we can't allow them to predict what we're going to do. What we have to do is set the tone. When we get the ball, we set the tone, whether we get the ball first or we get the ball second. If we get the ball first, we set the tone. If we get the ball second, we set the tone. Whenever they touch the ball, you smack them in the mouth. Hit them hard.
It's easier.
It's
easier said than done.
Make them scared and want to touch the ball. Like what? Who was it? Was it It was Washington when Washington played. When Washington played against the Detroit Lions.
Oh, congratulations! By the way, I hate Detroit. I hate Michigan.
Of course, yeah. He did you a favor.
You made my day better.
When Washington played Detroit Lions, Detroit got the ball first. The first 3 plays, Washington set the tone. They hit them as soon as they touched the ball. As soon as you touch the ball, we hitting you, letting you know it's not going to be that type of game today. And so that's what you do. You let them know you're not going to have an easy time out here. So when they realize, okay, these dudes is going to hit me as soon as I touch the ball, some of those guys actually get nervous when they about to catch that ball. So you'll see a couple of drop passes, or you'll see a couple of passes that they were supposed to catch, but they didn't catch it because they were scared to get hit. So that's what you do. You just set the tone. You got
that's easier. It's easier said than done. I just want to add something before Tyler goes. With the running backs, I think our biggest weapon on offense, our secret weapon, I think, in my opinion, as much as I love Love, and I think Love is a great running back, but Aeneas Williams, the freshman running back, he's our secret weapon because he's been great catching the ball out of the backfield, and he's made plays for us. So I think if you want to talk about our backs, I think he's our secret weapon as far as the back. As much as Love is, and Love he's been banged up. I mean, I don't think he's been playing 100%. He's still been good. And I love Price. I think Price is good. We got 3 good running backs, 2 sophomores and friend. But I think Aeneas Williams, watch out for him. I think he's the one that's been making plays out of the backfield, especially when receiving the ball, like the third down back. So
Mhm.
go ahead, Tyler. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Oh, no, I'm glad you told me that because, like, I'm glad D Free, is that your name?
Mm-hmm.
So when you said the way that this team, like your team is smacking guys, right? The way the Buckeyes defense is smacking players on these hits, against Tennessee, for example, we had Cody Simon, our block O, who is the team captain. So the team captain gets what's called a block O, which is the 0 jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So he hit Nico Amaleva so hard his helmet cracked. Like, no joke, his helmet cracked.
Wow.
And then the next game against Oregon, Lathan Ransom, our starting safety, he hits Evan Stewart and Jordan James so hard they say, no, we're not going back in the game. We're not going. They just sat on the sidelines. I was like, okay, these guys are really hitting hard. They're playing they're playing angry. Then the game previously against Texas, Sonny Styles, our other starting linebacker, Pickerton guy, he's from in Columbus. It goes one-on-one with Gunnar Helm, their starting tight end, their great tight end they have. He hits him so hard, Steve Sarkisian is calling for targeting.
Yeah, I think I recall that one.
So,
I mean, Texas shouldn't even have been in that position. They got away with a robbery. They robbed Arizona State. That was terrible.
They're fraudulent. I said they've been fraudulent for a while.
I think the whole SEC has been overrated this year, to be honest.
Thank you.
But that's another thing too.
Yeah, that's another debate. But yeah,
I said it last week when Ohio State was going to play against, or it might have been last week, it might have been a week before. I forgot when they played Texas.
The problem
is Ohio State struggles when they play against good defenses. They struggles. They're not that explosive team when they play against good defensive team. I don't know if the quarterback is a little skeptical or throwing in tight windows or whatever, but when they play against good defensive teams, they struggle.
I honestly think it's the play caller that they've used in certain situations. That's just my opinion, because the Michigan game, I didn't know the guy had a concussion, and I appreciate you, Tyler, for telling us that. But I felt like there were other ways that other play calls they should have made, especially defensively also, because listen, Michigan was not the same team as last year. And college football has changed too. There's more parity in college football now. You don't have like the one great team, Alabama winning every year. You're not going to see that anymore. And last year, I think it was more parity, and I think Michigan kind of got lucky with the matchups. But at the end of the day, this year, they were a solid team defensively. They had a good running back, but their quarterback was terrible. Well, I don't know why they didn't load the box and just dominate Michigan, just make them, beat them in the air, because that quarterback was bad.
What I was about to say. That's what I was about to say.
I'll give you an answer, guys.
But they didn't really do shit. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Tyler.
The reason why we couldn't do anything all day was because Chip Kelly, I think it was Chip Kelly or Ryan Day. I honestly don't know who was at fault. But we kept running into the strength of their defense all day long. Now, we would have been able to, if we had Seth McLaughlin for that game, I don't know if it would have been much more productive. I don't know if it was just I don't know if it was the coaching staff still thought that we had Seth and thought that we could replicate what he did, because the way that he was able to move guys off the line of scrimmage was, hey, he's gonna be a dominant center in the NFL, but we were missing him for that game, so we had to move Carson Hinsman to center, which he played last year against you guys, and he wasn't ready. But everyone thinks that they can replicate what Michigan did. But the problem was, it wasn't Michigan themselves that cost Ohio State that game. No, not by a long shot. We were the ones that kept making it harder for ourselves to move the ball. It was, we didn't utilize our talent properly. And since then, I don't know what has changed with this team. This team is playing much more angry than I have seen in a long time. Ryan Day, one of his biggest problems, what people of other fan bases don't realize, is he tried to show more respect to the other team. He tried to give the other team respect, but us Buckeye fans, we tell them, no, you gotta. They don't care who you're the Buckeyes. They want to beat you. So you gotta take care of business. You're in the biggest game of the year. You win. It's for that gold trophy. It's for the gold trophy. You handle your business. So
yeah. Not only that, they put $20 million into this goddamn team.
Okay.
On top of the fact they got what's his name? Underwood, the quarterback, the freshman phenom quarterback. He's gonna be at Michigan next year. So this might be their one chance and opportunity to get it done.
I'm glad you mentioned about the $20 million. Because you know why? That $20 million people keep bringing up, that was all for roster retention. And we bringing back all our players. Bringing back Jack Sawyer, bringing back JT Tumalau, bringing back Cody Simon.
Oh, yeah. You had to put some money in their pocket to let them know, listen, if you come back, we're going to cover you for this year for the losses you would have had if you had a rookie contract. So, of course, but that's what that $20 million was for. So, if you don't get it done, then it's a waste.
Yeah, but
waste
for whatever
of money,
reason,
waste of talent.
Well, you can say it's a waste because they ain't getting it done against Notre Dame.
And dude, but I'm gonna tell you those guys. You guys have the best one of the best defenses in college, but are you? I'm trying to see this from an objective perspective. So, is that based around who you guys? Is that based on who you've played, or have you actually been truly tested?
We've been tested the whole season.
Well, I think
every game is a test. It don't matter who you play against. You gotta play the game. You could be the best team
caliber of opponent.
No, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You still gotta play your style of the game to win. You gotta go out there and play the game. So whether you believe that team was the best team or that team wasn't that good, if that team wasn't that good, we supposed to beat them. If that team was good and we beat them, we just proved that we're a better team than that team. So it doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter who. See, I play football, and when I play football, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You got to go out there and do your job, regardless how good the opponent is or how bad the opponent is. You got to go out there and do your job. The only thing that you have control over is what you do. You don't have no control over what the other team does. The other team going to play their style. If they come up there lackluster, that's on them. So it could be a very good team, and they came out there lackluster. Yeah, but that didn't mean that you was a better team than that team. It just means you was better that day. So it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You still got to play your game.
I think like and I agree with that. And then and we spoke about this before a couple weeks ago. I think it's much different than previous years because we got the opportunity to see a 12-team playoff. We got more teams in the playoffs. In earlier years, when it came to this committee and who makes a championship game, whatever, Notre Dame typically, because they're independent, right? They typically play a tough schedule, but usually these schedules are made years in advance, right? So it's not anybody's fault where teams, they have off years. Like before the season start, Florida State was supposed to be good. Louisville was supposed to be good. Florida State was a shit show, right? They were terrible this year, but they were ranked, and then they lost to Georgia, and then they kept losing and losing. I think they only won one game. It's not our fault, but the difference with the past years and this year is that you got a playoff where now you have to kind of earn your way to the championship, and you're not going to just get put in there or voted in there by some committee, right? So, and I like that, and I think they have been tested because maybe Indiana was a little bit overrated. But Indiana played some good teams. Yeah, they got smoked by Ohio State. But it's like when we talk boxing, right? You was in the ring and you shared the ring with an all-time great. You must have learned something. It may take something from you, but you may learn from it as well. So
I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example of that. Like Northern Illinois, the only team that we lost to. Nobody said that they was a good team, but they beat Notre Dame early in the season. So that doesn't mean that Notre Dame was a bad team. It just means we came out there lackluster. They played their game. We didn't play our game.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. You got to handle your business because, like the Washington Commanders, they got a rookie quarterback. Now he's a phenom. He's one of one. But most people say, "Oh, Washington don't have a chance against Detroit." Well, they put up 45 points against Detroit.
By the way, Tyler, I don't know if you noticed, Tyler,
Washington wasn't going to make it to the playoffs. They did it. You can't judge it because of what you think that the person is. That person got to go out there and prove what they are.
By the way, Tyler, if you didn't notice this, and I think you did, D. Free is a Washington Commanders fan. He's out there in Washington, D.C., and he's on cloud 9. Oh, my fault, cloud 10. Cloud 11. He's floating right now, so he's on an all-time high.
I told you last week. If we beat the Detroit Lions, we're going to the Super Bowl. There's nobody stopping us after we beat the Detroit Lions. That was the best offense in football. Not the best team, the best offense in football, because I think there was other teams that might could have been better than Detroit.
Yeah, but their defense was banged up and hurt, and they weren't as good on defense.
Their defense was banged up. That's why I think it might have been other teams that was better than Detroit, but they had the best offense. And we went out there and we beat them. And like I told you last week, if we beat Detroit, we're going to the Super Bowl, dog. We're not scared of nobody.
Hey, any team that beats Michigan, like a team from Michigan, you're a friend to me. And my team's been out the playoffs. I'm a 49ers fan.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's crazy. You know what team I like?
Who?
You don't know my team? My team's the Seahawks.
Oh. So, hey. Marshawn Lynch. 1 yard line.
Oh, shit. So, I hate the 49ers. And I'm from New York. And in New York, there's so many Niner fans that just get on my nerves here. So I can understand, you're in Ohio State. I know that, Ohio State is the football team in Ohio. So, I mean, unless you like Cleveland or Cincinnati, I don't know. But so I understand, I'm rooting for the Niners.
I'm not a Cleveland fan.
Okay.
I'm a diehard 49ers fan.
What part of Ohio State are you from?
What part am I from?
Yeah.
I'm from Akron. I live in
Akron, Ohio. Okay.
I'm stationed in the military. I'm in the military.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
The only reason why I say that it doesn't matter who the team is because I played on a team previously before I got there. That team had won 3 games. That team won 3 games all year. The previous year before I got there, there was like five other guys. There was like 5 other guys that came to that team when I came.
Mm-hmm.
That year that we went to that team, we beat the number 1, the number 2, and the number 5 team in the league, and we won the state championship. That's what I like. It doesn't matter what the team is because we didn't have the best record, but when we made it to the actual regionals and the state championship. I mean, we made it to the state championship and the regionals. We played our best football then. That's when we played our best football. The regular season, we got beat by teams that I believe we should have won, but we lost. But there was a lot of teams that we did beat that was better than us, and we still beat them. But we didn't play our best football until we made it to when it counted. And we went undefeated when it counted, and we was blowing teams out. I mean, I'm talking like 45-0, 37-3. And these teams were the best in the region and best in the state. That's why I'm like, no, it doesn't matter if that team's been tested or if it's not been tested, if it's a good team or a bad team. You got to play your football. You got to go out there and do your job.
But I got a question, though.
I
know that you guys have a lot of injuries, though. I'm not gonna make injuries sound like an excuse or anything, but how many? I know that you guys been be able to survive with the people that are still healthy right now. I'm trying to give y'all respect in that way. You guys been able to get to this point.
Yes.
But do you think that with the amount of wear and tear that your players have been through, it's starting to catch up?
No, I don't think so, because I think the extra days rest, because they kind of spread. I mean, I don't like it, but I guess it kind of favored us to a little bit. They kind of stretched these playoffs out in a while, and I know they didn't want to compete with the NFL, but this was like an 11-day wait, right? They haven't played like in 11 days, so they got an extra few days. No, I think it actually helped us in a way. Injuries happen; they're part of the game. Next man up. You can't use that as an excuse.
Absolutely. That's why I was asking.
Also, what I think too, because those backups played a lot of significant amount of time, it helped make them better. So we had that. What Freeman has been doing, he's been coaching these guys the right way, and regardless whether you the starter or you're the 4th man on the bench, when your number is called, you got to be ready. Yeah, you got to be ready to play. And those guys have been ready to play. And they came in and they did their job. So I don't think that the injuries is a problem, because even though we had some significant injuries or some guys that we wished would have been in there, the guys that stepped in had held up their own. They might not have did as good as the other guy, but they did good enough. They did good enough.
And that's my point, is you always gotta be prepared. You don't know when you're gonna be called. You have to be prepared. So the other reason I asked that question is, so your starting left tackle that you had, Anthony Knapp, he got hurt, right?
Yeah, he's done for the game. He's not playing.
So who's gonna be blocking JT Tumalau?
I do not know his name.
Because I know that with linemen, it's a lot more different, because you don't want to go to your 3rd string lineman, your 4th string lineman.
All I know is that whoever came in against Penn State was bad. I think he blew like 3 assignments that game. I
Yeah,
can't
and
I can't remember his name, but whoever came in was messing up. Give me a second, I'll
yeah,
get his name.
and that's rightfully so because he came in the middle of the game. They was already in rhythm or whatever, and he got to get up to speed. But
Mhm.
now he done had 11 days of practice, and they able to get him up to speed. He should play a lot better because now he knows what the blocking scheme is. He knows how this man is going to move if this person bites this way or if this person bites this way. He knows
Mhm.
what the person next to him is going to do. So you'll have that at times where somebody's coming in cold off the bench and they get in the game and they don't play right up the speed that everybody else is playing because they've been sitting on the bench watching the game like everybody else is doing in the crowd. Now their number is called and they ain't quite ready just yet. But
Mhm.
then the next game you see them play the next game and then they ready. So I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be all right. I think they'll get him up to speed.
Because I know linemen, unlike skill positions, 'cause I played wide receiver. So unlike linemen, skill positions you can put a replacement out there. They're not going to be as productive. But you can still put them out there. But
Yeah.
linemen though, you have to make sure they're developed, that they're because you have to make sure they're strong. You have to make sure that they're big enough to actually handle other big guys that are on the opposite side of them. So my only
Yeah.
question
But
is is he ready as and I'm not trying to like disrespect him or anything. I'm not going to disrespect him. Like some people are just not ready uh, for offensive line and defensive line. Some people are just not ready to start at those positions
no,
because
he's
they're
not. He's not a normal starter. So
oh
he's a backup. He's a backup. He's not a
mhm,
normal starter, but he has to start now because the normal starter is injured.
yeah
So he's going to be starting, and he's as ready as it's going to be. Now with somebody who might not be the best lineman, what you do to compensate that you set up different blocking schemes. You might use your running back to chip block as he goes out or whatever, or stay
mhm,
back and help double team that defensive end or that defensive tackle. That's what you do when you have a guy that's not quite a starter yet, but he's getting there and he still got some things that he needs to learn. You help that guy out. Y'all a team. That's what you're supposed to do. You
But I
want to
think,
win, you help the next man out.
yeah, I think when it comes to offensive line, like mind you, it's like he was saying earlier with the skill play. I think skill players, they come and go. Like we spoke about this before. We speak about a lot of different things here, and one of the things I love to talk about is like if I was to build a team, I would start with the offensive defensive line. I think they're the most important players of
mhm,
football. Quarterbacks come and go, skill players come and go. Obviously, you need good skill players. You need a good quarterback to engage. But if you don't have a good offensive line, a good defensive line, you're not winning. And I think the offensive line, I think the main thing for an offensive lineman that's coming into the game and replacing a starter is to make sure they know their assignments and they do their homework, because
mhm.
you don't want to miss a block. You don't want to miss an assignment and blows their plays. Now, the name of the guy that's playing is Tosh Baker. He came in, and I was looking it up because I know I saw the stat the other day. I think ESPN did something on him. Is that in the game he played against the Lions, against Penn State, he had 5 blown blocks. So 3 pressures and 2 blown run blocks. That's what it says. So
Mhm.
that's an 8.6% blown block rate, and that's more than double than Knapp's 3.3% for the season. So that's a
Yeah.
huge difference. Now, mind you, he's coming into the game not expecting to play the starter. You don't know what in these guys' minds. You don't know what they did. You don't know how much homework they did and how much they studied the playbook, et cetera, et cetera. You don't know. You expect them to play better in the next game where he knows he's going to start. He's getting more reps, with the starting team. You know what I'm saying? So you would expect them to play better. So it's a big loss. Anthony Knapp was a
Yeah,
monster.
and
It's a big
I'm glad
loss.
you
But
say that too. That's
yeah.
that's another thing too. A lot of those guys who not starters, they don't play with the first team, so they might use to somebody because they play with the second or the third string team. they might be used to somebody blocking a certain type of way, but now he's playing with a starter, and the starter blocks differently. So the guy on his left hand side or his right hand side, he used to them blocking a certain type of way. But now he's playing with somebody that doesn't block that way. They block a different type of way. Because they used to the person that's being on the right or left of them blocking a certain type of way. So they know, okay, I'm gonna block him and then I'm moving off to the next guy. He might not realize that he's blocking him and then he's gonna move to the next guy. So he's staying with the one person that he had and let that other man go. But
Yeah.
now that he's with the first string team, he knows, okay, he's gonna block him, and then if somebody else is coming, he's gonna move off. I gotta make sure to pick up that pass off. So it's just little things like that they gotta get in sync with each other, because he's not used to playing with the first string team. He's used to playing with the second or third string.
Now,
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example. If anybody watched today's Eagles and Rams game in the second quarter, the Rams were terrible in short yardage, and it was not that the Eagles defense did anything special. It was blown blocks. The 3rd and 1 and
Right.
the 4th and 1, they literally missed blocks, and those are blown assignments. Those are huge. I don't expect these kind of things to happen. Listen, it's the championship game, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys played 13 games already. There's no excuses at this point, right? You already know what you're supposed to do.
Guys,
if you're in the championship game, you have to play at a championship, level. You feel me? So listen, no excuses. I think the best team is going to win.
Yep.
And I really feel it's going to be a close game. And I think, we'll see what adjustments are made in the second half, and we'll see what happens. I honestly think the coaching is going to be a big difference in this game too, right? Unless, Ohio State just blows it over, because the coaches are not playing, you know what I'm saying? So let the best teams win, you know what I'm saying? I want to move on from this because, I don't want to be on too long. But I got a Niner fan too now on here. I just want to ask, because, the Niner fans I talk to all the time here in New York, and mind you, New York, right? And they like the 49ers. Now, mind you, I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm in New York, but that's another subject. That's another thing. And it's a story to go with that too. I've been a Seahawks fan since a Notre Dame fan, and that's before '88. But whatever. Okay. But these 49er fans are bandwagon fans. I've been a Seahawks fan when they sucked. But anyway, what do you think of the coach of the 49ers?
Of Shanahan?
Yeah, are you happy with him? Because I've heard a lot of people criticize Shanahan.
You want me to be honest?
Of course, that's what I want to know, because I'm curious.
I know. I'm like,
you don't seem biased, so I want to know, what you think.
Okay. Here's my problem with Shanahan. Kyle, he's a great offensive mind, but his problem is he gets way too much in his own head. But his problem is one of his biggest problems is he tries to. You see that the way we constructed our team is we got nothing but skill positions.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle wants. Try to mask his flaw. His flaw is the offensive line. He doesn't want to invest in the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Other than left tackle.
And you don't know how many more years he could do it.
Exactly. So every year I try to say, go get an offensive lineman. Go get an offensive lineman. Go get an offensive lineman. And we don't. And I'm like, instead we go after running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. We are trying to make we aren't addressing our glaring weakness. And one of our other biggest problems is we're the oldest team in the NFL too.
Really? I thought you guys were fairly young.
No, our roster is very old with our starters, with our star players.
Okay.
So that's one of Kyle's biggest flaws is he doesn't want to invest in and because he's all friends with all his players. That's one of the biggest problems. When after every year they go on this Cabo trip. They call them the Cabo clique. So McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, all Fred Warner, all those guys, they go to Cabo, Mexico. And Trent Williams, because Jed York, the owner, he wants to be friends with everyone. He doesn't want to invest in actually becoming a champion. No, he's not like our previous owner who won 5 world championships.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but you guys got a good GM. Lynch is good. Lynch wants to win. I think he's one of the better GMs. Or is he vice president too? I don't know. I know he has a lot of pull for that team.
Yeah, he's vice president too.
Okay.
So Kyle, he's so stubborn. That's his biggest problem. He gets in. He doesn't want to listen to other people. And honestly, I didn't watch them this year. I didn't. I predicted that they were going to play like shit this year.
They had a lot of injuries too, to be fair. So I mean, I don't think. What do you think of Brock Purdy? I don't think Purdy's that good. I think he's a little bit overrated. But I think Shanahan knows how to get the most out of his quarterbacks.
I like Purdy. I like him. But his biggest problem is he's too much of a gunslinger.
And he doesn't have to be in that offense.
He doesn't.
It's like almost 60, 70% screen passes, like short dump offs. Like he doesn't need to do that.
But the problem is Kyle is so controlling. That's the big problem. Kyle doesn't want to relinquish the role to the quarterback because then he'll have to accept the fact that his scheme didn't win a title.
Yeah, and that's what they've been killing him on, is that his scheme works. I mean, he made Garoppolo look good in his offense for as much as he could, and kind of Alex Smith was Alex Smith with him a couple, like 1 year at least? No, it wasn't Alex Smith. It was Garoppolo, and I feel like it was another guy. It might have been just Garoppolo. There, it was Garoppolo. I don't know why.
It was Garoppolo.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just curious. I know my team. I'm frustrated with my team as far as their roster moves. Like I'm sick of DK Metcalf. I'm just tired of him, and the certain ways they go about with the offense, and that I like Geno, but I don't think Geno is a starter anymore.
He's not a starter. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, he's a good backup, but he's just not a good starter. And I just think the offensive coordinator went away from what we should have been doing is running the ball more. So but that's such is life, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you coming on, bro. You have a channel as well? You have a podcast?
I'm starting to make it. I'm starting a podcast. I want to start. I want to. I'm trying to get like a microphone.
Okay.
Because I got a TV set up in my living room,
and
I got a PlayStation. So I want to learn. I like play around with it and see if I can start a podcast.
Yeah, you can. I mean, listen, I just started doing this maybe like 2 years ago. I don't even have a microphone. I just do everything off the laptop or maybe my phone. And, I use this thing called StreamYard is what you came in on. Like, I
got StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah, so like you could mess around with it, maybe do short videos and stuff like that. That's how I started. I mainly started off doing boxing, and I still do boxing because I cover a lot of boxing out here. I actually on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And, little by little, I mean, I don't have the biggest channel in the world. It's just small, but I do, it's for fun. I think, why not try it out, small. Tell your friends about it. I have my friends come on. Like the guy that was just on D3. I met him through another podcast.
Okay.
He has a podcast himself. And usually Friday nights I go live, and I have my friends come up and we argue because we all like different teams and stuff. So yeah, I mean, go for it, bro. And I'll support you if you do it. You know what I'm saying? Stay in touch. You know what I'm saying? It was great. It was great for you to have to be on, and it was good to get another perspective. The other team, Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty cool. I've been having nothing but Notre Dame fans up here. So,
Respect.
yeah.
But I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, score prediction. And also I like to ask offensive player of the game and defensive player of the game for both teams.
For both teams?
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'll do Notre Dame and you can do Ohio State. Let's do that. If I said so obviously we'd have to say, it's if they win, because you're not going to be the player of the game unless your team wins. So if Notre Dame was to win, the offensive player of the game has to be Riley Leonard, right? I would love it to be Jeremiah Love, but I'm going to say Riley Leonard. And if the defensive player of the game, I'm going to give it to the Samoan. I can't say his name. Tilla something. He's like an outside linebacker, defensive end.
I also thought you were going to say Kingston Villamoasa.
No, that's not him. That's the other one. We got like two Samoans. What's the guy's name? I can't pronounce his name. Jesus Christ. What's it? Tyler Malamaka, something like Junior. His first name is Junior. That's so. Hold on 1 second. Burks. Yes, I do know the Boxing Maniac. That's my boy.
Wait. Is that is that my boy Burks?
Oh, and he said but he asked me if I know the Boxing Maniac. Yeah. He says that's my guy from Maze Madman show. He's Puerto Rican and from the Bronx, and I love to talk. Yeah, and he's a big Michigan fan. Yes, that's my boy. Boxing Maniac.
Friend. Yep.
Yeah. So you know Burks?
Yeah, okay. I do.
Oh, that's what's up. So this guy, he knows. He's asking me if I know the Boxing Maniac. Yeah, that's my boy. He lives close by to me too. So he's a big Michigan fan. He be letting me have it about Notre Dame. But he talks a lot of boxing. So I met the Maniac through a boxing event and through another boxing channel. Mm-hmm. And then we be going to the fights and we meet up at the fights and all that. Yeah,
I know about
the Boxing Maniac. Too. Yeah, he's mad cool. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Small world, man. That's what's up. Oh, man.
Why are you here right now?
I guess he must have seen the channel from maybe the algorithm or whatever. So, and maybe the hashtag, because I put Notre Dame and Ohio State and stuff. Maybe I don't know how YouTube works. That's another thing. Like it just shows up in the screen. How did you find me? Like
I popped up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just recommendations. Okay, yeah. So I see. Yeah, but it was dope, man. It was cool. So you go ahead and you pick yours, and then we'll probably go offensive, defensive player.
Okay, so offensive player. That is so hard for me to choose because there's so many. Like, for one, you guys have to pick. Are you gonna double team Jeremiah Smith?
I don't think they will. I think that's the logical thing to do, but that's not what Notre Dame's been doing all year. I think they're gonna make Howard beat them because remember Howard's got to make the throws. So I think they're gonna try to go man with him.
Well, because Jeremiah Smith, he challenges anybody to say, if you want to go man on man, he destroys man coverage. So that's why I'm like saying.
No, I know that he's a monster.
So, and Will Howard destroys man coverage. He loves man coverage.
Yeah. The only thing you got to be careful of if you're a Ohio State fan, right, is Xavier Watts at safety. He's a ball hog.
Yeah, I know about Xavier.
He's got like 7 or 8 interceptions this year.
So, and that's who I'm looking at too, like Xavier Watts. I know that he's going to try to shade over to Jeremiah Smith. I know he is. They don't want him to beat them. Now, my only problem is then you got Carnell Tate and Emeka Ibuka and Travion Henderson
Mm-hmm.
and Quinshon Judkins and G. Scott, Jelani Like we have a lot of weapons. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure you're going to try a double team Jeremiah Smith. You're going to try. It's not.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Emeka Ibuka or, well, I'm going to go Will Howard because Will Howard gets the ball to them. So,
Yeah, the quarterbacks usually get all the credit anyway, which is insane sometimes. But
defensive player of the game. That's tough for me too because there's so many guys I could choose. Because one of the things, unlike last year's game compared to this year's game, what you guys are going to find out, Caleb Downs makes this defense far more difficult to play against. What you're going to find out with him is he doesn't run like a normal linebacker. We pull him at linebacker, but we pull him so far off the behind, like 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, where the lineman can't reach him. So he basically roams free and tacks downhill. That's why he was able to get that tackle for loss against Texas on that toss that they tried to do at the goal line. He went completely unblocked because of the way that we set up our defense. So I think Caleb Downs is going to be the player of the game on defense. Because Jack Sawyer, he's going to. Are you guys going to double team, triple team him? Like, he's going to get some attention.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. See, when you get these players like the big name players, what the defensive and offensive coordinators, you got a game plan around certain players. And of course, if you're a coach, I would imagine, an offensive coordinator is going to do game planning around Sawyer. So I would lean over. If I was to pick a defensive MVP of the game, I'd probably go with a guy like Cody, Simmons.
Cody Simon, that's a good one
Cody
too.
Simon, I think he's a beast. I think I would go with him because you figure Sawyer's going to make plays. I mean, he's a first round draft pick probably. You know what I'm saying? So, but you would think, right, as a coach, you're going to game plan around certain individuals, right? Like you're going to game plan around, on defense. You're game planning around, Ohio State's best receiver. You game plan around the best defensive player. You know what I'm saying? So I would pick Simon.
That's a good one. I respect that. Like, and he's been playing since 2021. He's been through a lot. He when he first started, he looked lost. I'm gonna be honest. He didn't know how to play linebacker. And so he's grown up a lot on defense. So I respect your choice. I think Caleb Downs is going to be the player of the game on defense, though. Now, what's your score prediction?
Well, obviously, if I think I'm gonna, as a Notre Dame fan, I got to pick Notre Dame to win, right? If in order for Notre Dame to win, it's going to be a close, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So I'm going to say Notre Dame 16-13, they win 16-13.
Okay.
Here's another Ohio State fan, my man BBO. He's rooting for Ohio State too. What do you think?
So here's the thing about this game is we can win in several different ways in this game. This is where it gets a little bit troublesome for me. Because if you want to, oh, here comes Burke with his bullshit. Yeah. Burke, just remember, your team is at home. Just remember. And I know that you still want to be a Buckeye fan. I remember it. Just remember, you have full invitation to be a Buckeye fan. But as I was saying, I think that if the Buckeyes play how they did against Tennessee and Oregon and go on 3 possessions in this game, this game could get very ugly. So, but if you want to play a rock fight, we can play a rock fight too. But that's only if Ryan Day stoops down to your guys' level. That's where it starts to get a little bit. If it were to get like how you guys predict, that's if Ryan Day just gets in his own way. But if Ryan Day executes his game plan flawlessly, because I trust Jim Knowles. I'm going to be honest. I trust Jim Knowles is going to shut you guys down. Like, I'm being honest. Like, but if Ryan Day executes flawlessly, this is going to be a blowout.
Well,
BBO, be honest.
BBO says 45. So I respect it. I mean, listen, you guys are 9.5 point favorites. You know, it's a mismatch on paper, but that's why we play the game.
Yeah.
Right. We don't, you got to see the outcomes on the field, and listen, I think we're going to be in a good game.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good game on both sides just because, I want to be entertained. Right. I'm going to be missing Monday Night Raw for this. Right. Nah. And
hey, I'm a wrestling fan too.
Yeah, we talk wrestling here too sometimes, so that's another thing. We do everything here. We talk wrestling also, so I'm a big wrestling guy.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
I don't really have one anymore. Like back in the day, like I used to like Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, like those are my guys. But now I don't really, don't really have a favorite.
Mine was Undertaker, Steve Austin, Rock.
Yeah, I like Steve Austin.
So,
Rob Van Dam was another one. I used to go to a lot of ECW events years ago. Like I'm a lot older, so I'm in my late 40s. So I used to go to a lot of ECW when ECW was around in Philadelphia. I used to go to a lot of events. I met a lot of those guys. I met Taz, Just Incredible, Rob Van Dam a few times. Like I met a lot of those guys. Even met Van Bigelow before he passed away. So New Jack. I hung out with New Jack a couple of times. So. Yeah. But Tyler, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. If you ever wanna come on, we usually go live on Fridays. We talk all sports. We do a lot of boxing. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know if you watch boxing as well. We talk boxing. We mix it up.
I watch boxing, but I'm like, I only know a couple of boxers because of their like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. So that's as much as boxing as I know.
Okay. No, I get you. It's not for everybody. A lot of people don't, but that's one of the things we talk about here. That's kind of like the main thing we always talk about. But but I try to mix it up. I love baseball. I love football. I like to talk college football. It just happens that my team's actually pretty good this year, right? So except my pro team. My pro team stinks, but so. BBO, there's another guy. He's another boxing channel, a good friend of mine. Even though he talks a lot of crap, but at Small World Burks, that's so crazy. The maniac. And if you guys got me, I got my Instagram scrolling at the bottom. You can add me. That's my real name, Tom, and the last name. You can add me. The Boxing Maniac is on there too. I got him on Instagram as well. So yeah, you guys, anytime you guys want to come on and talk sports or whatever, it's open. I may do I don't know because I got to work Tuesday, so I may not, but I may do a recap of the game tomorrow night, depending on how the game goes. If we get smoked tomorrow, there's no way I'll do a recap. There's no way.
If you get smoked, we're gonna have to talk about it, boy. You gotta stay in the paint, man. You gotta stand in the paint. Yeah. If you get dunked on, you have to take that. You have to.
No, of course. I know a lot of Ohio State fans, so I know they're gonna text me or call me or whatever the case may be. So I gotta accept that either way. So, but honestly, I just hope it's a good game. So. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna get out of here. I got some things to do, but Tyler, man, thanks for coming up, man. That was, I appreciate you coming up. It was a great conversation. It was good to talk. We did a preview. I didn't expect to really do a full preview, but that was good, man. I appreciate you, man. You helped make the show today.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, and
yeah,
it's great meeting you.
Great meeting you too, Tyler, man. Take care, bro.
Take care. Good luck
good luck
tonight.
Good luck. All right, guys, man. That was a good show, good conversation. Appreciate you guys coming and watching with us, and appreciate D Free coming up, jumping on the panel. Congratulations, D Free. We didn't get to talk to football playoffs. I guess we'll talk about it Friday. Wanted to go over it. I wanted D Free to, he was on his high today after that big win yesterday. Congratulations to him and the Commanders. D Free's having a good year, right? You got the Commanders, you got Notre Dame. His teams are doing well. Good for him. The Eagles got a good win today. The Bills won. I didn't expect the Bills to win today. They were underdogs at home. Congratulations to the Bills and the Bills fans. They got a tough game next week against the Chiefs and the refs, because you already know the refs are going to help the Chiefs out. So that's going to be a very good game. I think both championship games are going to be very, very good. I'm interested to see, now that Philly's going to have that home game, how the weather's going to be in Philadelphia. That's going to be very interesting. I don't expect it to be like that. So that's gonna matter in that championship game. You already know that KC is going to be cold, maybe snow, but both teams are used to that. Both, obviously the Bills can play in that, so that's good. But I'm very interested in that, in the Eagles and Washington game in Philly. That's going to be a good game. I got no dog in the fight. I really don't like Philadelphia, especially because of some of their fans. So that's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about it. I know D Free will be on Friday night. I'm trying to get my boy Brett to be on. He's a big Michigan and he's a big Eagles fan. And I'm trying to get my boy Gio on, who's also a Commanders fan. That's going to be great. That's going to be must-see TV. They're going to talk shit back and forth, just like we do every day in our little group chat. So that's the goal for this Friday, to talk football, NFC, AFC championship game. Who's going to Super Bowl? Can Kansas City three-peat? Let's see what's up. I appreciate you guys coming through. Burke, I appreciate you. Add me if you can. And, maybe you could come on next time. I'll try to get the Maniac to come on too. But that's my guy, man. I'm going to text him tomorrow and tell him you was here. So that's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, guys, I wanted to talk about some boxing. The Monster Inoue fights Friday morning. Against Ji Jun Kim. Know nothing about this guy. He's a replacement for Goodman. So, and then another fight I want you guys to look out for this Friday, Pro Box, Puerto Rican Najee Lopez, 12-0, 9 KOs. He's going to be taking on Gilbert Castillo Rivera out of Dominican Republic. Najee Lopez on the rise, 12-0 and 9 KOs. Taking on a guy from DR who's 25, 6-1, 19 KOs, heavy-fisted Gilberto Castillo Rivera. Castillo Rivera's been in there with some tough. He's got a good resume. All losses, but he's been in the ring with Dimitri Bivol, lost a unanimous decision. He was stopped by Callum Smith, and he lost a unanimous decision against Marcus Brown. So there's a nice little step-up fight for Najee Lopez. I like Najee Lopez. He's coached and trained by the same trainers of Berlanga. That's Mark and Ray Ferrate. Who knows? Maybe I can, get my boy Sock to talk to Ray Ferret, and maybe we can speak to Najee Lopez. Najee Lopez is out in Atlanta, Georgia, but he trains out in Florida, where a lot of the pro box events is the Ferret brothers. They have a lot to do with that pro box down in Florida, down in Plant City. So look out for that this Friday night. So other than that, guys, I'm going to say good night, good morning, and we'll talk tomorrow, if anything. Go Irish tonight, and hopefully they can bring a championship home. And that's it, guys. That's all I got. Peace.
Champ of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, chat.